Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus. You know, I got something that I'd like to share with you that would help us down this road a little bit easier as we reach out for life, to be fulfilled in the process of life. So things have been going through my mind to make things a little clearer for me, that I'd like to share them with you, hopefully to make things a little clearer with you. So I've jotted down some notes I'd like to use to make my statements clearer to you. I've been hearing some stuff on news lately, special programs, one referring to the Central Park Five. I'm sure over the years you have heard some information about the Central Park Five. Well, you know, eventually they were released after everybody had said that they were guilty and should be receiving the death penalty. Even I think your illustrious president had condemned them to death. But now they have been released, and quite a great big piece of money split up amongst them. Can't give them their life back, but it probably can help get them some distance down the road many of them perhaps would not have been able to get for themselves if they had not the ability to go through, or the opportunity to go through, this devastating hell. Well, you know that there are people who still, regardless of what has happened, are still fixed on the idea that these guys are guilty. But be that as it may, it is what it is. Now, there was another situation quite a few years ago that occurred with the O.J. Simpson story. You know, many people thought that when O.J. was given the nod, that justice had finally arrived and everything was going to be okay. However, there were those at the same time began to start hating black people just because they were black, based upon a protest for what O.J. had gotten away with according to their feelings. But on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, there are those that having to deal with life every day, and people are coming to them constantly, at least certain parts of the year. We'll call them state legislators. They're the ones who have to deal with the budgets. And nearly every agency that is eligible for some funds based upon the 501(c)(3) or C3, or just receiving grants, appropriate grants, and they are going to the state legislatures and they're asking for funds. Everybody representing their particular causes, and they're asking the state to give them a piece of the pie so they can do the work that they do. Now I say, and I'm sure that the spirit that leads me to say, is that everyone that goes there to apply for funds should be granted whatever they're looking for and more besides. But in order for this to happen, they have to be what's considered a national priority. And these, perhaps, and we hate to admit it, organizations and these types do not meet that particular standard. However, on the other hand, the system is sending thousands to the Persian Gulf. What they sending them there for? If propaganda gets out of hand, they can kill or die if ordered, just to support. Can you believe that some ideology that's contrasts that of another, and rather than fix the problem, you're ready to kill? Now you the people have accepted that con. I mean, the way to treat everybody in every nation is to treat people like you want to be treated. And you won't have to worry about things like this. Well, they say that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. But don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to accept these things thus far that I've mentioned to you, accept also that the pimps, they got to make a living. Now I know it makes you sick, but you have no right to be getting upset. The only way to defeat something like this is love. It's God. Now that can be fixed, and though the people know, only the people who know how to love can fix it. Everyone else, and I please accept it, doesn't mean to point fingers at you, but everybody else is guilty, just as guilty as the pimp. But now, in spite of all that, God still loveth all and is introducing life to us. And you know, everybody is always asking for donations for this or donations for that. In every case, the solicitor's financial support is worthy. In every case. The problem is, God's way eliminates every stumbling block, and yet the people choose to support, through their negligence, that which robs them. We are, as I see it, as fallen angels, drifting in a foreign land, wondering who we are and why we are. We see the greatest joy and we see the greatest pain, and our choice is the greatest joy. But even that doesn't do the trick. The freedom of peace, the comfortableness of prosperity, the freedom to love, which means caring for everyone as you would have them care for you, with victory at the fulfillment of dreams. Admittedly, we've all tried it our way. And look at us now. Be that as it may, however, there's one other way and it's the way of angels. The way of those that are one with the Spirit, one with God. Those fallen angels have learned that our way won't get us there. That we must travel the way of the map. Which way the map leads us, that must be the way we must go. And that reference is to God. It is to love, which is God. Now there are those that will commit any act to have their way. Remember, they will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will kill, they will commit terror and war, killing mass numbers in order to have their way. Yes, there are people that will do just that. Still, they never succeed as long as no one submits. But who are those that will resist? Those that have been to the mountaintop, those that have seen the promised land, evidenced by their activity of building here what they see there. They don't have time to submit to blindness, for blindness affords one to sense what's going on around them. They have little knowledge of what you can see. Similar as humans, we envision about what heaven is like, but we really have no idea until we go to the mountaintop. It takes the sight of the promised land to convince us to resist evil, to resist the devil. But how do we get to the mountaintop? By believing and having faith to put forward one foot after the other, that it will take us a step closer. You see, life should be and really is, as simple as driving on the highway. Every driver have at their disposal a killing machine, or simply a means of transportation. Now there are rules that everyone must adhere to, for they are designed for your protection. Go wrong, you can cause pain, suffering, and death to yourself or someone else. The same benefits or the same suffering. Likewise, every single individual wants their dream to come true, like being safe on the highway. Justice is the rule of the road. Follow it, and as sure as the driver gets to their destination, as practitioners, your dreams will be fulfilled. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, if there are 8 million of us, and we try to bring peace and prosperity and joy to our land, 8 billion different ways, none of them will work. Because each of them represent an individual outside of the collective. But the Creator who designed everything also designed a way for us as human beings to experience peace, prosperity, joy of life, freedom, and the fulfillment of our dreams. It's a roadmap that laid in existence. This is the road that leads to paradise. This is the road that leads to heaven. This is the road that will knock out all of the viruses, the lies, the cheating, the stealing and killing. All of this stuff, you won't run across any of this if you walk this road. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the road that I'm constantly sharing with you, the road that leads to truth, the road that leads to your dream. And we have submitted ourselves, I want to just say what you already know, to a system that does not permit this to happen. A system, well, to be honest and tell you the truth, we just going down the rabbit hole till we're out in the state of hell right now. That's where we truly are. And if you listen to what I said to you, the Republicans have no answers. This is why we got down in hell, seeking answers from somebody else. The Dems have no answers, and if we don't make a real change, we're going to stay in this pit. We're going to die in this pit. But my whole efforts to you is to say that in spite of all of the hell we've created for ourselves, the power that loves us is still standing me here before you to say we can get out of this. Stop listening to that which destroys you. Stop practicing that which destroys you. In other words, stop listening to your way. Your way ain't worth a damn. Listen to the way that works for everybody. Every billion, 2 billion, 8 billion people that walk this path are treating others like they want to be treated. Every 8 billion people that walk this path seeking after peace and prosperity and joy and the freedom of life and the fulfillment of dreams will walk this way. Every 8 billion people that wants to have their essentials met, the greatest, which is a career of their own choosing, which in effect causes the manifestation of enough health care that no one would ever be without it and the best that it could possibly be. The same practice that allows for everyone to have education unlimited and restricted so that each and every one of us can be as best as we could possibly be for that which we have been given to do. And all of the food and clothing and shelter is there in abundance. We'll never run out of it. We have the infrastructure that makes us feel as though we're in paradise. We have the transportation that allows us to go anywhere, and the recreation to experience these things all the time, and never feeling that we're worn out by the job, because it's not a job any longer, it's a way of life. My friends, I'm telling you this, you have to stop trusting in money, because you have to go through the hell to get that money. You don't have to go through hell to treat people right. You don't have to go through hell to treat people like you want to be treated. All you have to do is change the system that rewards you for doing just that. Change the system that rewards you for doing just that. And you got 8 billion abundance just overflowing, ready to make sure that you're never absent anything. Now, I know doggone well the devil can't match that. I know doggone well money can't match that. I know doggone well that whoever's controlling money can't fix it up that way, that any more than 1% can feel that. But the Heavenly Father, the Spirit, ladies and gentlemen, can fix it so every last one of you can do it. And you might be saying, well, how are you going to do it? He's going to use you. That's how he's going to do it. He's going to use you. You're the one that's going to be experiencing heaven. So you got a role to play in it. Don't expect somebody to give you something. Anybody that gives you something can take it away. But if you're playing a part in the manifestation of it, you got ownership. And it's there as long as you want it to be. So I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. I hope I haven't wasted it. It sure feels good to me every time I can share with you something that is clear as day about how you can change the system and have a way of life that you've been praying for all your life. You've been on your knees asking Jesus to come. You've been on your knees saying you're tired of this, tired of that for thousands of years. God dog it, can't you wake up and see that's not the way? The devil's angels are not praying to the devil except give me power, and then they get busy. They get busy. And you sit around talking about God, talking about waiting, come and deliver us. He said, I'll be back. What? As what? Spirit. To find a home, a dwelling place in you. What I see the Father do or say, this is what I'll share you. That'll be your counsel. You don't need a man to guide you, trying to show you something about their way. You better have your own conversation with God. And all of that God directs is all connected. That other stuff, I'm telling you, you can be mad the rest of your life. You ain't going nowhere till you change. Goodbye. Oh, you boy, you. Uh-oh.